Hey everybody, Red Kiwi here. Wanted to do another video on a different electric vehicle this time, the Chevy Bolt. And I had the honor of having Sukhdeep Gill from Celio Electric give me a tour of his Chevy Bolt. And I wanted to do this vehicle because I think it represents a milestone for electric vehicles, because this is an affordable electric vehicle with a really good range, which is going to cover everybody's needs for local driving as well as long distance driving. So pure electric vehicle, 383 kilometers range per charge, although Suk did say that one time in the summer he achieved almost 500 kilometers on a charge. It has 5 seats. It retails around about $43,000 Canadian. Pretty zippy, 0 to 100 in around 6.5, which is about the same as a BMW 330i, which retails for even more. It has a 60 kilowatt hour battery in it, which means that if you plug in at home into your own home charger that you can get installed, it'll take around 9 hours to charge. Or if you plug into one of the DC fast chargers in the public, you can go from flat to full in 90 minutes. So with that, let's go to meet with Sukhdeep. And he owns a company that does a number of great things in terms of energy efficiency for your home or business. If you want to put solar panels on your home or business, or if you want to install electric vehicle charging in your home or business, he is definitely the man to talk to. So visit him at his website. But now let's cross over live and we'll go and have a chat to Sukhdeep and get a tour of his Chevy Bolt. All right, so we are here with Suk and his Chevy Bolt. So tell us a little bit about why you got an electric vehicle.
There's few perspectives that I was trying to take. One was to reduce my overall emissions, and two was reduce overall costs. So for work, we're an electrical contractor, and there's a lot of driving that I'm doing in a big van where it could have just been eliminated. And the thing was, some days I'm doing around 250 kilometers or 300 kilometers during the course of a single day, which is just a lot of running around. I don't have to carry very many tools, and in the case that I do, I fold the seats down. So this car, for example, it easily does that, and I don't have what's called range anxiety in that sense, because now in Metro Vancouver, the charging infrastructure is very well suited for traveling locally with EVs.
Right. We're actually sitting here at Empire Field outside one of the charging stations. If you were to charge, so you would have put your own charging station at home, which I think for everyone on the video is a level 2, right? Same as a stove output. How long would it take to charge your car from flat to full?
To flat to full, it would be close to 9 hours.
Right. Just for everyone, that's not typically something you do, right? It's not something that you ever get your car to flat, just like you would never get your gasoline car to, completely out of gas, right? So, gasoline car, you'll see you're at a quarter of a tank and you'll pull into a gas station, right? And the same as I find with electric vehicles is, whenever I get home, or even it's the same as my phone, right? Like I never let my phone get below sort of 20% type of thing. And I find that's the same mentality. So it may take 9 hours to charge your car from flat to full, but I would imagine most of the time you're just topping up.
Exactly.
And how long have you had the car for?
Just over 3 months. I've almost put on 10,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So it's...
Actually, while we're here, I could do like an interior. This is a hilarious story. So when my wife was getting a car, we were at a car dealership, and the lady who was trying to sell her the seats was like, well, they have firm seats, that's a good thing. That was one of her selling features of trying to sell her the car, was that the seats were firm. In the back, there seems to be really good.
It's a great 4-person car. Do you want to sit in the back?
Just want to hold that, and I'll go and sit in the back. It is really good.
the fifth person, unless it's a child,
Right.
it gets kind of tight. But for 4 people, it's great.
And you've got some USB charging back here, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And then this comes down, by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the trunk space like?
I think it's a lot of trunk space.
Let's have a quick look at that before we
Sure.
shoot off.
So you just gotta press one of the buttons. Here's the 2 cameras. This actually squirts water out on this. Well, I forgot about that too.
Show that on the. We'll show that up here. So take me through that again, because that's pretty interesting.
So this was one of the cameras. This is the camera for the rear view.
Yeah.
And this little nozzle here, when you want to clean your rear window, this will squirt water on the camera too. So it makes sure that's
clean. That's incredible.
And in terms of trunk space, if we are to cover this, there's actually a considerable amount. Usually that will sit flush. And then we can also fold the seats down, and that creates even more space.
Yeah. So, and this is an excellent perk. So.
Oh, it's huge.
So tell everyone what that does.
The amount of so what this sticker represents is access to the HOV, high occupancy lane, by yourself, as this is an electric vehicle.
Yeah. And
I would say it saves me, in some cases, up to half an hour on a trip, depending time of day.
Yeah.
Where I'm in the HOV lane by myself, and then there's a bunch of people using. I could just feel them staring at me when I'm just driving past.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another perk, one of many of owning an EV.
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Coquitlam who he was saying that he has an EV, and he said that it gives him 30 to 40 minutes back with time with his family every day, being able to travel in that. And here's the cool logo for the Bolt EV. All right, let's go and have a look at charging this thing. Right.
So all we have to do is we touch the screen as it says, and then we're going to select the CCS option.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So there's different formats.
Exactly. So this is what Nissan Leaf owners are really used to. Maybe I should. So this is what the Nissan Leaf owners are kind of used to, the Chatamo.
Right.
And this, for example, the Bolt EV and the i3, to name a few of the vehicles that use this configuration. So there's a flap right here. And so earlier we discussed the level 1 and level 2. If we were charging via those options, we don't even have to open this flap, but since we're charging via the DC fast charger.
What do those other additional ports do? Do you know? Like what do these provide over and above?
This is where that DC voltage is actually applied.
Okay.
This is alternating current that's applied here.
Right.
And since we're able to fast charge, DC's provided directly to the.
So this one's not even using those top ones.
No, it's going to use the communication ones. So these ones essentially, and the ground.
I didn't know that. I'm glad I learned about that.
Once we plug this in, this is just recognizing that we're plugged in now, and we're going to press start. Now it's saying it's preparing to charge, setting up with communications, and I'll soon start blinking green.
Right. All right. Well, why don't we take it for a spin then?
Sure.
What's the performance like on it? Do you know the 0 to 100?
I think it's 6.6.
Damn, that's pretty good.
In sports mode, so there's sport mode, which I don't go out to the track, so
right.
I really don't need to turn it on for the most part.
6.6 is pretty good, actually.
This car is really zippy.
Yeah.
Again, with even with the Leaf, the instant torque is there, but it's
yeah, it's not bad. It's difficult to tell on video.
Mm-hmm. And it could have been more aggressive, but I'd rather not. Mm-hmm. So this is a beautiful hill because we're regenning the whole way down. So when this portion turns green, it's regen mode, and this little wheel.
Oh, I see that, right.
Spin. So we're regenning pretty much up until now.
That is something that it's a great feeling when I see that regen, because I feel like I'm getting something out of that hill.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas when I drive a gasoline car, I'm just going, oh, what a waste. Like, there's all this, I think it's potential energy that I'm dissipating through heat in my brakes.
And
So, here's an example. We're coming up to a red light.
Yeah, so...
Have you hit the brakes yet?
No. And most likely we won't even have to hit the brakes.
Have you not hit the brakes yet?
No.
See, that's incredible. And that's another bonus of having an electric vehicle, is you don't have to replace the brakes as much, right? Sorry, as often.
And our range slightly increased as we've been driving. So now we're at 300 kilometers.
So we really haven't used any energy to get where we've gone right now. We've actually gained energy because of that hill. And now we're out on the freeway. See, we're doing 85 kilometers an hour, and I can still feel the car accelerating and throwing me back into the seat. I think this is definitely a vehicle that many families or people could have.
I think a lot of people just don't realize how amazing this and even other cars, but especially this in terms of distance, because a lot of people are overly concerned for range, even though in most cases they don't need that range. I guess it's just a peace of mind for a lot of people.
Like, how much gas were you going through in a year?
So I was looking at my previous months, and I would say some months I would even hit 600.
When you think, so let's say averaging $500 a month, you know, that is $6,000 a year. So even though the price tag of this vehicle seems a little high up front, after 3 years, that's $18,000 that you've saved. And that's not even oil or transmission flushes or any of those other things that you would have to get in a gasoline car.
Yep, and also time. We sometimes forget the time that we just discussed, whether it's the HOV axis and just the comfort of driving a car. It's much more relaxing.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. And as I said, I think a summary for me is that the range, I mean, I have a Nissan Leaf and I can get 120, 130, and I've had it for 3 years and I've never run out of electricity. And I've done trips to Seattle, all over the Lower Mainland, and it's been fine, right? But now with like 350 to 380, it's more than fine for what I do, and for longer trips, it makes those trips even easier to do, and you're starting to get into a price range which a lot of people can afford, especially if they factor in the savings in the long term, right? And I think that's something that people have to consider and think about, because if you're saving $18,000 a year, sorry, $18,000 over 3 years, and you keep the car for, say 6 or 7 years, you're making up the difference at least, right? So I think it's a very compelling vehicle. Anything else you wanted to add?
I really think for example, there's a lot of outreach programs, whether it's Emotive, whether it's Plug-in BC, and a lot of people that are interested just need to explore and just inform themselves.
And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I want people to see what is it like to live with an electric vehicle. It's easy, right? It's just different. That's all.
Yep.
But we need something different, because that was the reason why I went electric, and sounds the same as you, is that we can't keep burning fossil fuels. We just can't.
It
right?
just doesn't make sense. It's just it's little explosions to move a car.
Yeah, I think So this for me is a monumental vehicle, a big milestone, and I wanted to document that. So I thank you for your time today to take us through that.
No, it was I appreciate the opportunity. It was an honor.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you. We'll talk to you soon.